It's probably because I'm playing music from the stream. Better?
Let me know if there are any issues with my mic because yeah, I will like just mute myself. And we'll chat with you guys through the wonderful Discord chat.
Hello? Are there anyone talking?
Hello?
I'm talking.
Maybe it's just not coming through for me. Weird.
You cannot hear anything? Brian, can you hear something?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And Jacob, but I don't think Jacob can hear us.
Yeah. No, I thought like you're busy with like setting up your stream and everything, so we thought like you were just busy. And
Oh,
so,
no. I was like, huh, there's a bunch of noise that's showing for OBS, but I don't hear anything. But it was just me the whole time.
hmm.
Here's the Streamlink. Can you check out and make sure it's working? For OBS, but I don't hear anything. But it was just me the whole. Okay, sounds
Yes,
like a yes. Can you hear you?
working. Yeah, I can hear myself. Wait.
Here's the Streamlink. Can you check out and make sure it's working?
Testing voice. Testing voice.
Yes, but I don't hear anything. But it was just me the whole. Okay, sounds
Yeah,
like a yes. Can you hear you?
Working.
I can hear Jacob through your mic, but not Jacob through Jacob's mic.
You can't hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
This is a loud sentence. This is a loud sentence. This is a loud sentence. Yeah.
Can you hear you?
I can hear Jacob through your mic. Oh my god, it sounds like my mic is super blasted out. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Does it sound like my mic is super gainy?
Loud sentence. This is a loud sentence. This is a loud sentence.
Okay, I will count this as a yes. That we can all hear.
Let me test someone.
Yeah, you sound like very gainy on my end.
Like through my current mic or through your stream?
Both.
Why is it so loud? Let me open up my software. Is this better?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll just listen on the stream.
Oh no, feel free to talk. It's okay. I think it sounds better through the stream now too. But either way, okay. Let's get started then. Okay. So we went through part 1. So what is bash, unpicking the shell, variables in bash, functions in bash. types and redirects, scripts and startups, all the way up until loops. So we did command substitution and evaluation, exit codes, tests, and then I believe up to loops, because this is on page 53. Yeah. So up to loops. So anyone have anything interesting they'd like to talk about or any questions to ask before we just go over whatever?
I found some useful shell hotkeys throughout testing this that I thought were pretty awesome.
What do you mean by hotkeys?
So, or maybe hotkeys isn't the right term. One of them is escape period. So if you're typing something, it takes the last part of the output, and you can actually keep cycling through this. Like the one portion of the chapter when we were echoing the bash version info is super helpful to just escape period and like bring up that portion of the string again.
So escape
Some other
period
useful-
will bring up what? Like it'll do the last.
So yeah. Try echoing, like create a variable, maybe like my string. And then yeah, you could assign it to anything, and then echo that string.
Yep.
Okay. Let's imagine you were typing something else and you want to bring up my string again. If you just type echo space and then you do escape dot, make sure you escape first.
Press escape then dot.
Yeah.
Oh, I was pressing both
Yeah.
at once.
So the reason it was nothing before is because you had, I think you deleted something that you posted, but super helpful to just re-grab whatever portion. I don't know what to call it. I'm just gonna, I guess it takes the last argument that you typed in the prior command.
Oh, okay. So if I do like echo high and then echo,
This
yeah.
would just be high. Yeah. And you could cycle back, click escape period again. It'll go to the one before that. And then, yeah. Super helpful.
So something like
Also
that.
some other ones that I ran into. Control, we'll start with this one. So control U deletes the current line that you're typing. It's like an undo essentially. And then something useful, I knew what it was doing, but I didn't know this portion of it. Let's say you're typing something and you want to clear your terminal history. You could use Control L, but the caveat here is it keeps the current command that you were typing, which is super helpful. So
Control
rather than
L?
typing like a clear, yeah.
Control L. Yeah, that doesn't seem to work on here.
Yeah, what would be the Windows equivalent? Maybe
I'm on
I don't think it's
Bash.
Alt-L.
This is on Ubuntu, so it's like Unixy.
I mean that should be.
We could see if it's in the man page for readline, maybe. No, not in here. Doesn't seem. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've done Control L. Like it works in the browser too, and it works if I go into spell it right. If I spell it right. Okay, so if I go into like Haskell land and do like 1 through 10 and spell it wrong, whatever, and then do Control L, it works in here.
Yeah.
So
the
it
big
works
thing
some
here
places.
is I'll dig into like why it wasn't working in that other environment, but in the past I thought this would just be the equivalent of a clear. Just cleans up the prompts that you'd been typing, but the caveat is that it keeps the current command that you were in the process of typing. So if you have some commands here, you start typing something, you Control L and clean the list, but keep the current command.
Yeah, we can try something like that in Haskell. Like, of course, it's not the exact same thing, but it does. Okay.
When
And
in
then a
the
control
browser,
U would delete the current line that you're beginning to write. So rather than holding backspace the whole time or control C,
I
just a
usually
control U.
end up doing escape DD
escape what?
and then DD for
Vim.
I'm in Vim
Vim
still.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just for Vim, the Vim mode.
Yeah,
When in the browser would you be using Control L? Like
the
where
console.
does that? Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, that's interesting. I would have thought that it would work. Maybe it's just like Windows is doing something wacky, but
Try it one more time. I'm surprised it doesn't work.
what is going on here? I don't know what's happening here. So we'll open up a new shell. So we can do... Oh, Control L works now. Was it because I did this? Maybe that shell session was just busted. Or maybe it doesn't work in Vim mode. It doesn't work in Vim mode, that's what it is.
Got you.
Then what would it be? I know... Like if we turn on Emacs, does it just work? It does. I wonder what that would be then. What would the Vim equivalent of
mode?
clear be? I guess we'll find out. But yeah, that's a cool one. I like the Control L. It says I should be able to use Control L. Well, I guess this isn't shell. It's not bound in insert mode. Okay. So I'm in insert mode, and if I go to normal mode, no. doesn't
Remember,
seem-
it keeps the current line, so you should
Oh,
essentially just run something.
okay. So I do this, and then I go into normal mode. Okay, so if I go into normal mode, then do Control L, it works. But if I do it in insert mode, it types Control and L, which I guess is kind of nice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, but nonetheless, these I think were helpful running through the exercises for this chapter. Control L to essentially clear and keep the current command you're running. Escape dot to grab the last argument from the prior command that you'd been running, and then Control U would delete the current entry that you have.
Was that a part of this chapter, or you just dug into it and found it?
I came across in some videos when I was going through the exercises, and then I use it throughout the rest of the exercises that I got up to.
Yeah, that's cool. Now I don't remember because I did. Okay, redirects are a part of it. I learned some other things, other places that I thought were cool. I'll make this way bigger to hopefully be good for stream stuff. The one that I found cool was if I have a file. So to practice what we did in the chapter anyway. Hello. I guess I should type it correctly. But if I want to pipe hello to some random command or some random file, then of course it'll be in here. But I can truncate that file by just doing this. And now it's empty.
Let me think about this one for a second. Okay, so it's essentially just overwriting it. It's just printing that empty. It's overwriting the contents of hello, just with nothing.
Yeah, it takes whatever goes to standard out, which I guess is nothingness, and writes it to the file. I also found you can do this like wherever. So I'll try that too. We could say this and then. Yep. You can put the redirections wherever you want, which is so weird to me because I would never write it this way. I'm pretty sure you can put it in the middle too. I should write something else. And yep, that works too. You can put the redirection literally wherever you want. That is so odd to me.
Better question is why does that work?
I do not have a good answer for that one. I'd expect maybe if it runs into one of these characters, it starts parsing it as a redirect. Or sorry, not a redirect. And then it moves on and does other things because it's clearly not parsed as an argument for echo. Yeah. Anything else anyone thought was fun or cool or any questions?
Wait, can you run ls from here? Did it? I guess those are strings. Yeah, it's just hello.
Yeah, I wrote to the same file every single time. I wrote to hello every time. So this will be the same.
So I think we should potentially wait for this, but it would be nice to spend some time on page 25 just understanding the process of there's like a special type of operator where you redirect a standard error and then you add a ampersand one. It's at the bottom of that file. I get the results, but I found their explanation on the following page a little confusing.
Right here does not exist
Yeah.
in this. Yeah. I think that's fine. Like, we don't have a particular agenda. Like, I have some things that I thought were cool to go through, but I think it's better to answer the questions anyway, because like you have to read the book to get it all right. So yeah, and then there's that one other thing with the escapes, because a few people asked about that I think would be good.
I found something interesting about the escapes, but we'll get back to that later.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So
Can I share my understanding of this
go for it.
and then maybe validate? So command does not exist. That command doesn't exist. So there would be some standard error output. The command in the middle, I think, is taking the standard error and printing it in standard error, but then the ampersand one is then taking standard out from that and overwriting the contents of out file. And then the difference for the second line, well, I guess the result of the first line, out file should have nothing. Standard error has the error that was thrown because the command does not exist. Is that the way to think about that? I don't know if that was confusing.
Yeah, can you explain that again one more time?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this like two separate arrows here. So the two right caret would take the error from the command does not exist and push it onto standard error. And the ampersand one is taking standard output and bringing that to out file or redirecting because there's that redirect right after. So out file should have nothing because there was no standard output from the last line. But standard error would have the error like whatever shell you're using, blah blah blah. Command does not exist. Command does not exist, or whatever it would say. So essentially, since there is no standard output, it overwrites out file, and since there was an error, it gets pushed to standard error, and you see that within your terminal just because it's displaying in the same location.
So what do you think that this does here? The 2 greater than sign ampersand 1.
I think the ampersand 1 is just continuing to chug along the standard output, which is nothing in this scenario.
Yeah. Okay, I think this one's best done with a beautiful diagram, so I can open up a drawy program for us. I'll make sure I'm not... Okay, so we want these 2 commands.
Oh, by the way,
Here.
the description is on 25. I said the following page, but it is above.
Okay, and I'm gonna draw some boxes. We'll see. Okay, so I can grab the text tool. So something like this. So here are commands. Not monospace, I don't think, but that's okay. So we have like a list of file descriptors and where they point. Okay, so we have file descriptor 0, which is standard in, and then that one is pointing over to, I should draw these with real errors, or real standard out and standard error. I really should make all these all different. Okay. So this one could be our standard in. Wow, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, I can just grab that there. This is the least efficient way to draw this. Okay, so we have our 3 boxes here, and then these point to something else, which is going to be our terminal in this case. So they point to, we can say like TTY0, but it'll be different on your machine likely. But we can just say this is terminal, like it'll go out to your terminal output by default. And it comes in from your terminal by default too. That all make sense so far?
Yes, but the portion like goes out to your terminal. I thought standard in is solely an input channel, and then you have your 2 output channels, standard out, standard error. Probably some other that I don't know about, but are you saying that standard in also gets routed out to your terminal, or is that something like that I'm imagining as standard out or standard error?
Like you're saying standard in points to what?
It accepts arguments from your terminal, from your whatever prompt you're writing.
Well, you can write to a file and you can read from a file as well from different file descriptors. So they're not necessarily different. I had a command somewhere that you could grab. I think it's like ls proc. I mean, we'll look at it. Let's try. I can do ls/dev Nope. Can I search it though?
By the way, I'm on the same page now. I think the way you explain that there, I understand what you're getting out with this drawing.
Yeah. I have done the sin of opening too many tabs against. Close a bunch of stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna look up a command for, because I know there's a command to just list it. Yeah, probably in here. Oh, it's ls-l /proc. Okay, yeah, so I was pretty wrong, but on the right track. So if we do something like this, you can see where these point to. So we have file descriptor 0, 1, 2. This goes all to the same spot, which is in /dev ets24 at this point. And all we're saying, so like note standard in is pointing to the same spot. It's just writing to this spot instead of reading from it.
Yeah, that was my misunderstanding there.
Yeah, you can do like a star kind of thing to read and write from a specific spot. Or I guess that's angle brackets, but yeah, these write to our terminal. So what these are doing is this says file descriptor 2 points to file descriptor 1. So what we're saying is point standard error to the terminal. And then we're going to point standard out. So we're going to point standard error to where standard out points, which is this terminal. And then we're going to point standard out to out file. So effectively, nothing is done with standard error. It's pointing to the same spot. That makes sense?
Yes. In this case, when you run that first command, though, don't you see the output in the terminal?
Yes, exactly. The standard error will go to the terminal. The standard out
Got it.
will not. So like, for example, we could do that. We could say ls goes to, what does this say over here? Okay, so we could do 2. So standard out goes to, or standard error goes to standard out, and then standard out goes to the standard in of out file. So then we ran ls, we can see what's in out file. We get hello in out file. And there was no error, of course, because I didn't do any errors, but we can, of course, do that too. So you could see standard error goes here. And then if we look at out file again, there's nothing here. So the standard out went to the file, which was nothing, and standard error went to our terminal, just like we expect from our diagram here.
Yeah, that makes sense. No
So-
output in this case, just an error. Error goes to standard error. The output goes to the file, but since there was no standard out, it just deletes the contents.
I probably could just do like a subshell that does both, and then we can have both at once. That would probably be nicer. We could say ls and ls. Something like that, because that doesn't exist. And then we can do, yeah, so then here we have both at once. So we can, I probably should just, let's get rid of our out file. So if we look at out file, it has our standard out, and then it does not have this standard error here. And I don't think this was covered in the chapters that we read, but this here, these parentheses make a subshell, and you can redirect the output of these subshells just like this, so we can have standard error and standard output at the same time. Not quite sure how to do that off the top of my head anyway else, but yep, all this makes sense so far. Okay. So yeah, checking out this other one, we're just going to do the same thing, but we're going to point things different spots. So we're going to restart this. These will all point to the terminal once again. So what we're going to do is we're going to point standard out. This no longer goes to the terminal. Standard out now goes to out file. And then we're pointing standard error to what standard out points to, which is also out file. So now they both go to the file.
That makes sense.
Yep, so if we do this same thing, but instead we run these in the reverse order. Keep trying to do all the Vim stuff, but it does not work as well. Oh well, just... Yep. Something like that. If we then look at out file, we have everything. So it's all just about the ordering of it all, because it doesn't point to a reference to where the file descriptor is pointing. It just points to the actual location the file descriptor is pointing at. So we're not truly following where the file descriptor 1 is going, just where it was at that time.
So in short, that fancy property is, or sorry, operator just says point standard error to where standard output is pointing.
Yeah, this is the same exact thing as we're doing. Like, we could write this longer. So, like, if we have nothing on this side, we're more or less saying this. Like, we want standard out to go to out file. We just didn't explicitly write that. We still have the same output here. Yeah, and if I run that again, it does the same thing. It's just a shorthand because it's pretty common to do that, I'd expect. So it's not anything more fancy, and we need the ampersand to tell us a file descriptor. Otherwise, it'll think it's a file that's called 1. That makes sense?
Yeah, I didn't know that other portion. So the ampersand just can you repeat that again?
Yeah, the ampersand just makes it think it's a file. Like, the ampersand tells it it's not a file, that is. So if I say, like, echo hi, and then I do this here, and I want this to go to... like, I want to point 1 to file, and then I want to point 2 to standard in. Let's just do this.
I understand now, because yeah, the spaces here don't really matter. So it just thinks it's literally a file called 1.
Yeah, it thinks it's a file. It's called 1. So if I run this, it'll put standard out to 1. And if I look here, we have a file called 1 now. And 1 contains our standard error. So we need some way to differentiate between numeric file names and file descriptors themselves that are numeric.
Got it.
You can name your file descriptors with, like, curly brace syntax, but I think that is beyond our scope for today. Yeah, that's a really good one. Glad you brought that one up.
Yeah, no problem.
I have a
And
pretty...
looking back at their description, like now I understand the way that they wrote this. So thank you.
Yeah, I have a really nice article on bash redirections somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, this
Is it
one.
the article? Oh, yeah. This is actually
the
very
one.
helpful, and like this is the one that actually made me understand.
Yep, this one is a separate one, but it has the same graphics that I drew out manually, and it explains far more information here, but it tells you exactly the same thing. They're pointing to whatever we're pointing to. And yeah, I think that one's pretty good. I will throw that. Can someone throw that in the YouTube chat if you're on there? Okay. Yep, so another one that I think would be good to go over, since I've been asked about it a few times, is the book somewhere in here mentions escapes. I'm not quite sure what page that is, but I know exactly what we ended up doing, which is more or less like, how do you run something like this? Like if I want some command, let's make a function called hi, something like that, that just echoes 10. And then if I run echo hi, it echoes hi, but it does not call that function. But if I run echo hi, then it calls the function. But what if I want to echo hi? Then it echoes hi once again. So we need to go about this again, but if we run it this way, we still get hi because it thinks this backtick, the first backtick, is related to the next backtick, which is not what we're intending. We intend these to be within each other. So we can solve this by escaping with a backslash. And now we're back to 10. But if we want to do another layer of these, then we run into the same issue, except for we have to do even more escapes. So the questions I got from here are, I mean, I guess I'll do it. We need to escape the backticks like we just did. Oh, well, that's gone. Oh, no, it's back. But we also need to escape the backslashes that we had. So also this backslash existed, and this backslash existed. I think I missed this backtick to escape, but we need to double escape it. Nope, I did that wrong. Let's start back from here. I forgot. I did one of them at once. Yep. So this one,
So confusing.
oh, I don't have the backticks around this one yet. So we can backticks, and we need to escape the inner. So escape this one, escape this backslash, escape this backtick, escape this backslash, escape this backtick, escape this backtick. That should be good, yeah. So you need to escape both the backslashes and backticks for this to work correctly, which is why you have the odd-looking triple slashes in there.
Okay, so I don't know if this is like going out of like scope or something, but I played with like some of the backslash stuff, like how Bash interprets this. By the way, you want to nest, if you want to nest it one layer further, the next time that's gonna work is if you do like 7 backslashes.
Ooh,
After
that sounds
1,
fun.
3, yeah, the 7. Like it doesn't work with 5; it works with 7. Yeah, okay, so I don't know if it's like, okay, so what does a backslash do? Like if I have to like ask you.
It more or less just says that this character is the literal interpretation of the character rather than running something. So like for example here, the backtick would think it's another matching backtick or a matching quote. I wonder if it's in the man page.
If I write something like this, what's that doing? Oh, that's actually a like a backslash after something too. It just Discord didn't pick it up, I guess. Oh wait, let me just put
are
it
you-
in literal.
If you do it in a code fence, you should be
Yeah,
able
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
preserve.
Yeah,
But yeah, you have to escape them because it thinks they mean something, right?
yeah. So what does this gonna do in like Bash? Is it just going to ignore S or like the next one? I think the brackets.
So you can see here, there's a specific piece in the man page that says a backslash is a backslash. But if you take something like backslash A, it's alert bell.
Hmm.
Backslash
How did you open this man page, by the way? Man backslash?
man bash.
Oh, man bash. Okay.
And I search for a backslash by escaping the backslash, of course.
uh,
So you're
so like that was 2 backslashes.
Yep, 2 backslashes will be equivalent to a backslash.
2 backslash will be equivalent for like searching a backslash, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Before we get into maybe not. I have to think of what exactly that is now. We're gonna copy paste it because that's gonna take a while anyway. But yeah, if you take the ES command, you see
Yeah.
what processes are running as well. Then
Yeah.
you'll see there's multiple bash shells that are running. And we use these quotes because otherwise if you get rid of them, we have a bad time looking at it.
I did not know about this, like in the course thing. Okay.
So yep, it evaluates the outer and then moves inwards. And if you don't escape them, then they become treated as a
What
part
does
of the original.
double quotes do again? I know it makes it look better, but like, what is it exactly doing?
I'm not quite sure why it makes it look better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question. I wonder. Should probably be checking the chat and see. Oh. See if anybody is telling us all of the answers. I have to open up all of the new tabs and
Interesting. This one, all the bash processes we have, the PIDs are actually. I mean, I know Sudo said that PIDs will never be like serial, so don't like count on those. But in the previous one, where you actually did not have the double quotes, the PIDs are actually serial. Like 50255, 50256, and then you have the previous one 50254. But when you use the double quotes, the PIDs actually are not serial again.
I don't think that
they are.
has anything to do with either one. Like you can't guarantee that they're serial either way. Like they could be, but yeah, let's run with quotes. It may be that they happen to be most of the time, or it may be that they will always be in this specific implementation, but not something I'd count on.
Yeah. Sudo said the same thing. Don't count on it. If you're like using it for some other thing, maybe just like listing the PIDs. I don't know where you will even use it, but yeah.
Use the PIDs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like trying to think of a legit way to like make it, you know, put it into some place for it to work.
Yeah, I feel like this would eventually be non-serial if there were blocks of them that weren't in order. So like
Hmm.
if
That's a good script to write, by the way. Like, just do this, like till you hit basically something that's non-serial.
yeah, property test the process IDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if something happened to take 53124, then I would guess it would skip it, but yeah, who knows. And of course, I was bad streamer, did not look at the chat, but I am here and I see nobody has answered our questions, which is so sad. But I don't expect anyone to, of course. But if you do know, feel free to chime in. I'm actually looking at the chat now. And I didn't miss any questions, but I see a hello from Chiffon, so hello. And somebody else says further redirects, but I'm not quite sure what you mean. So if you have a more specific question, feel free to write it down.
Do you have option like do you have your settings enabled so people can post links?
I don't have anything on or off. You can try.
Okay. Because I did post the link for the the article, and I guess it did not go through.
Oh, yeah, it probably just bans them by default. That's understandable. But yeah, I put the article back in. Thanks for reminding me. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay, okay.
you'll probably have to explain what exactly you want because you have to escape the thing when you're typing it into Discord too, because Discord also handles escapes the same way. So what do you want
Yeah,
to look at? You want to look at
I just wanted to like have a better idea about like what escapes are doing here. So I think here like the escape is basically escaping the S thing, and then I guess it's escaping the last like open parenthesis basically. So that's what it's doing, and nothing else, right?
Okay, so you're asking like did I type your string correctly?
You can remove the first backslash. No, yeah, the very first one.
Like that?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean here I think you're missing. Do you want to finish out the backtick as well? Like that?
Uh, no. Why would we be using the backticks if we are like using the dollar and the parentheses, like
Oh, I wasn't
thing?
sure if you had typed them or not and they were missing. Just wondering, because we were just typing backticks. So this is what you want, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then this will escape the right parenthesis, so it will not terminate at this time. So if we added a regular one here, then it will think we're talking about something right parenthesis.
Mm.
So yeah, it escapes the S, and escaped S is just
Mm.
S, I believe. Yeah. But if we
Really?
have,
If that's his-
I believe escaped S is just S, but there's some characters where that isn't necessarily true, like /n is a new line.
Yeah, that's new line. Yeah.
So it's not always true, but we can find out. So we have some escaped stuff here. Is there an S in here? I don't see any, but yeah, we have some that mean different things if you do have a backslash before. But yeah, in this case, it doesn't mean anything special as far as I know.
Okay, 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 okay. I'm gonna ping Brian. Uh, I guess we're done with the escaping thing, right?
Yeah, unless anybody else has any questions about it. I missed that. I thought you had to leave or something.
I'm back.
No.
I did on hotkey before.
Oh, okay, okay. You said hockey or hotkeys?
Hotkeys. Set up one for deafening, and I forgot that it's not the same setup that I have on my Windows machine, so just close the application.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I was thinking for a second you were like not interested in hearing about escaping, so Joy
No,
would tell
I
you
am.
come back.
I saw a combo earlier on this. I just want to make sure once I get up to that, I have a chance to solve whatever, think about the problem before I have a solution.
Oh yeah, okay, okay. Then great. I will not say any more words about escaping. Or I'll do a
Hmm.
content warning. Content warning talking about escaping.
I got through a decent chunk, but I still have a little bit to go for a first chapter. Got
Okay.
about halfway through.
Um, are we gonna like add some stuff on substitution that since we are on that whole thing like $ parentheses, do you want to go over that?
Sure, glad to. Yeah, I'm here just
Oh
to
yeah.
answer the questions. Otherwise, I'll just talk about whatever I thought was fun.
Oh yeah, we can do that too. um
I mean, either's fine.
okay. So since we're on the substitution thing, I was like what does like what's the difference between a substitution and like if I'm like piping something, when you pipe something, you're like taking the like basically the output standard out of one thing, I guess, and moving into the next program, right? Is that what's going on?
That's a good question. I feel like they would be pretty much equivalent. So like if I ran like echo ls versus ls pipe echo,
Yeah.
these do seem to be different though. ls pipe echo does not um doesn't
But
work
what
the
are you
same.
if you echo something? Oh wait. Um, okay, I did not think of it in terms of echo and ls. Um, oh
So
yeah, ls pipe echo doesn't work. Yeah.
yep, so the answer is it doesn't work.
Huh. Yeah, I was like, because I thought like, kind of like if I'm doing the same thing or not when it comes to this kind of thing. I did not think of in terms of like ls and echo. Down the line, there's actually an exercise where you have to like use find and word count.
Mhm.
So, I kind of did that. And basically, yeah, I was like, I can kind of do the same thing with substitution. So, what's like, what's stopping me from like, what's the difference basically? So I guess, but yeah, these are different actually.
There's a caveat here. I just did some reading just to check. Echo does
Yeah.
not read from standard in. It reads from direct, um, like a direct argument. So you can't pipe into Echo.
Ooh, that's a good thing.
Could I
What,
do
what, where did you read it?
Let me grab resource.
okay, so which page was that on? Because I skipped way
Oh,
past it. Yeah,
the find one. I think it's page 53. I think 52, something like that. The exercise is there
yeah, let's go
just
there.
before loops. Just before loops.
I'll link a Stack Overflow post now, but I'll find something more official. But in short, it just says that Echo does not read from standard in. It prints the standard out, but it takes a list of arguments.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So then, yeah, in cases like this, it would make sense to do it because passing things to standard in seems to not work.
That was actually, yeah, a good attempt at trying to get LS to work with Echo.
Yeah, what did you end up doing for this? This
Oh,
one.
this
I'm
one?
interested because, yeah, what do you end up having to do?
Oh, actually, I had no idea how to. First of all, I did find, but like I had no idea how to use like how to use find. But okay, I guess I learned. So it's like find, just type find, and then if you the root, not okay, you can start with the root directory too. Okay, let me just uh, type it here in the chat. It's a better way to. Um, so yeah, basically this command and this list all the files that are in your system. But there's something interesting about this too. Like if you can try it out on your on your terminal, see how much it works.
Yeah, I think that should work for reference. I mean, I'm not gonna run it on the root one, but we can run it here. So we do dot and then type F for type file. And we have all of the files here because I do not want to wait 10 years to list every file on my hard drive, you know?
It sounds pretty quickly. I mean, it's not, but yeah, if it's like there's sensitive stuff in there, definitely, I guess.
Maybe. I don't want to be bad streamer, leak all my information either, you know?
Yeah. And you can definitely pipe it to word count, like -L, which is going to give you the, because it's just showing you the files in that way. So you can count the lines and it just basically gives you the number of files, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I ended up with as well.
Yeah.
Were you not sure how to find out what the types were and everything?
Types, like the types of files?
Oh yeah, like the dash type, like what is passed to it. I mean, yeah, feel free to go ahead with your questions. Glad to answer.
Okay, so the thing is, when I was running it on my system on the Ubuntu machine, the total number of files kept on changing every single time I ran the command, which was interesting. Sometimes it was giving me 500,000 something, and then it was like something else.
Oh, that's not gonna like that. I'd expect this to be. Oh no, this seems to be the same. Oh no, it's different. It's different every time because remember from our last book club.
Yeah.
Everything's a file in Linux, more or less, in the Unix world. So what I just printed out is in /proc, which is every process I have. So if your process count goes up or down, it will change.
Oh. Okay. Then how will you perform any actions because you don't have the exact count of the files using this process? Because yeah, this is what I was trying. This is what I could do with this. But if it keeps on going up and down, because as you said, everything is maybe a file, and because of which the number of the processes will go up and down. Another thing was you got the permission denied thing, which is also I got. So you can sudo and you can it's going to give you a higher count of the number of files. But there were two directories. I guess this is something for the Linux book club, I guess. But
yeah, it's relevant
the here. run/user/1000 gvfs and run/user/1000doc. Even with sudo, you cannot get the count on these two directories, which was interesting.
What are the directories?
Sudo will let you. I'm on an Ubuntu machine, so it's It's Linux Mint, so Ubuntu, /run/user/1000 gvfs, and another one was run/user/1000/doc doc.
Yeah, I've never heard of those, but on a quick Google, it looks like it's a mount point for GNOME, which lets you see things on like FTP servers. So it's like a boundary where you go on a different file system. I'd expect that's what it is. I'm not yeah. So you're trying to traverse another file system, I believe, and that's what's causing your issue. You can't traverse the mount with find.
Okay.
And I know there's another flag. Otherwise, you'd have to enumerate the file systems you'd like to look through, and maybe you don't have permission to even so.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, how will you get like the exact number of, I guess, files in that way, which are like, I guess, like not tied to processes? I guess the files you created or something.
That's a good question. There's
Yeah.
probably some flags you could go through to avoid, but you likely would not want to run. Like, I don't know how useful it is to count the total number of files in your entire system. Because, like, in this case, of course, it's not too helpful because it goes up and down based on the process count. But also, if you run things in, like, temp directories, do you care about the things in temp directories that programs are writing? Or do you just care about things that you yourself has written? So it's more of a fundamental question of what do you actually care about?
Yeah, that's a good point and a good solution actually, because yeah, you can just not run it on the root directory and run it like, for example, you ran it on the current directory, and you can basically, I guess, put in things to exclude certain directories and then do the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably just pick your directory. Like, if I want to check like my own coding folder, for example, I could look at how many files are on there. And even then, like there's some files that have been created by like node modules or binary files from outputs. So whatever I want to pick.
I have to look at the syntax of find again to see if like it allows me to exclude directories. Like if I can set a flag like exclude this directory, go through this directory, but exclude this directory. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be something to look for, but you probably could do something like that if you wanted. And if you wanted to, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, so you can, looking into it, you can traverse the GVFS mount points. You just have to be the correct user to do so.
Like I'm the only user who has sudo privileges, so that doesn't. I need even higher permission levels.
Not sure. Okay, so what was it again? It was /run/user /the ID /GVFS.
Yeah.
We'll say 1,000. See if it happens to be there.
Yeah, it's a good, like the thing is, maybe you're right. Like it's an ID and it's gonna be different. Use rejects there. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I have it because I'm on WSL. But yeah, I found a Stack Overflow post which shows how to get into it, and that would probably be worth looking into some other time. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
there are some flags you can pass it to tell it to only look at a specific one, like a specific file system. So let's see if we can find that. I think it's xdev. Well, yeah, this is probably not a very helpful help menu. Or is it? Yeah, it tells me all of this stuff, but I need to go into the man page probably. So dash mount, don't descend directories on other file systems, and alternate for xdev. So yeah, just you have to do other things to get into the other file systems. There's also
Is there a syntax for me to like, let's just say, you have like a project, and I think I can just look it up. But like, if you have a project and you just want to count the number of files or something, but you don't want to like, as you said, like don't want to count what's in the node modules. So just exclude that thing and.
Yeah, you can just look in like source or something. Yeah, it looks like there's a real fancy command to get through to run find in there. But I am not exactly sure what's going on there. But yep, more or less it seems like you're just dropping into another file system. You're going through a mount, which then find has some issues with.
Got it.
Yep. I think that's just generally what causes issues, but yep.
Okay, since you are here on this exercise, the second one, okay, so I have no idea how to do that without using loops. Like, and we did not touch loops. Like, loops was after this. So were you able to find a way to do it without like using a loop, like testing the second exercise?
You could just hard code it. Just say like if the file exists, then all good. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I was thinking they wanted more so of an if statement that would say if directory here.
Oh, it says key files. Okay. So you don't have to go through every single file and see. Okay.
Yeah, something like in here. So there's probably like a I don't remember. There's like dash D. But either way, like there's some flag, whatever it happens to be. Whatever the flag happens to be, you can use some flag on an if statement to check if it's there. So I was thinking like something like if like bashrc exists in the home directory.
Oh, for like the files?
Yeah, exactly. Just if the bashrc exists in the home directory, or if there's
I think it's dash E, I believe.
dash E
Dash E.
or dash E.
E.
Dash E. Okay.
Check if it exists or not. Okay, I had one another thing. What does dash A do? Like, it's actually one of the, because I know it's the AND operator, but like, yeah, but they have used it on like, let me grab the page number.
Yeah.
Where they used it as a way to check it as a test if the file exists or not, and I was slightly confused.
Oh yeah, dash E checks for existence of a file. A dash F does regular files. Dash D does directories. Dash S checks for things that aren't truncated. So we could run one of those, like we have one over here. So if I said
Mm-hmm.
dash E 1,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and we can check, that's a 0. If I do something like 12, and I should just do that, we get 1.
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah,
I was
that's
expecting they did, just like check to see if like bashrc exists in your home directory and isn't empty.
mm. So on page 48, I believe, they have used this test, but using A, I think. Like they use dash A and um,
Dash
dash
A.
D is for like, yeah, what does A do there? Like I couldn't find information. It's the AND operator, like dash A, right? That's what I was thinking because I couldn't find information on dash A. Like nothing was written anywhere.
Let's see if we have dash A. Dash A. Both expression 1 and expression 2 are true. Yeah, I was just looking
Yeah,
at
that's like
the wrong man page before I was looking at the bash man page, not test. So what do they do? They're saying yeah, that's a good question. I wonder what that is doing.
Yeah, because it's returning the error code 0. So that means that it does check for the file to exist, but I don't know how it is doing it with the AND operator. Like, how does the AND operator make sense there?
Oh, well, they're using it as a unary operator. Maybe this is different in this case. Yeah, these are binary. Is there a unary dash A? I don't see one in here.
Yeah, I tried to look up on Google, and yeah, like dash E was the one that I could find for like, if a file exists or not. There was dash Z, dash N, but
Would you look
yeah, I
at that?
couldn't
I
find
found it
much.
in the docs. Okay,
Oh
so
my
on
God, you did.
GNU.org, dash A file is true if the file exists. So there you go.
Oh, damn. And how's it different from dash E?
It's not. Dash E, true if file exists.
It's the same thing. Okay. Got it.
Well, at least according to this man page. You are echoing, by the way.
Sorry.
Yep, so I'm not. It seems like they're just not different here. Like if it's used as a unary operator, it just checks if it exists. So you probably could do it, but I don't think you could do dash E together with another file. So like, let's try one out. So we could say dash E, but if I said 1 and hello here, it says this is not right. If I do dash A, it also says that's not right. So this doesn't work for that case. Yeah, I wonder. So it would work if we said something like true. Nope. Additional binary operator expected.
Oh, by the way, on the double square brackets, the AND operator doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to do single brackets.
Okay, so this does work, but does it work if I do like we have file 1, also file hello. So this is correct and fine. But if I change this to E, it says this is not a binary operator. So the difference I'm seeing here is just E is a unary operator and A is binary.
Hmm.
And I'm guessing if you pass an empty string. Nope, that one fails actually. Okay, so if it's used as a unary operator, it'll check if the file exists. And if used as a binary, it'll check if both exist. So that's the difference here.
Okay, got it. Yeah, actually, this was useful. E and A are kind of the same thing if you are using it as a unary operator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. I don't know how you found it. Like the
I just went on GNU.org. What do you mean?
Uh, I just Googled it, but yeah, Google just doesn't return good results nowadays.
Well, that's how I found it. I looked up GNU test and found that. Okay, yeah, but that's pretty much what I would say too for this. Like they say they generally use these, and yep, indeed, I just look them up whenever I need them. And otherwise, if they work as I expect, that's all good. Any other questions that come to mind? Anything related?
There's an exit code for exercise for, I think this is before this, like this section on exit codes. And there's like, which git command returns a non-zero. And all I could make git to do is to return 128, error 128, basically, if you're like doing the ampersand, not the ampersand, sorry, $sign, question mark. I wonder if there are other ways to get something that's not 128.
I just got zeros and ones, so you can. Or do you mean with?
With with git errors. Wait, let me grab the page number.
I'm just scrolling through. Is it on this page? You're saying git. Okay,
Page
git.
43. Page 43.
Oh, when does git? I must have skipped this one. But let's find out. Probably in the man page. But there's a lot of words in here.
Yeah,
So
git.
it'd probably be good to Google it around. So do a non-zero. Okay, when does it return a non-zero exit code? And you're just asking when we need 128.
No. Oh wait, for everything I just could find like 128. If you like just do something like get status.
128.
Oh yeah, 128. Your get status gonna return 128 or something where it gives you like a fatal thing. That's gonna return 0.
It reinits it.
Yeah.
That one doesn't care. Git log does 128. 128. 128. Is this still 128? Maybe it's all just 128 then. Very well could be just their way of going about it.
Yeah. Did you get into loops? I thought loops were actually excluded this time around.
I mean, I did loops, but loops
Oh,
were
okay, okay.
excluded this time around.
Oh, okay, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you? What did you find interesting, like going through the whole thing?
Yeah, good question. And to close us off on Git, I didn't find anything immediately that said what 128 was or if it means anything different other times, but it seems like it's not super semantic. But yeah, I found it
Mm,
helpful to do like bash globbing was the first thing that I thought was interesting because it was pretty similar to regex where you can do character classes, for example. So like if I want to, let's something like that, 24, hello 10. And then if I want to look for any files with character class, I could do, I want things like 0 to 9,
mm-hmm.
and I get all the things with 0 to 9 throughout them. Or if I just want
Yeah.
0 to 3, I don't want 24, then I guess that does match 24 because it has a 2 in it. But I can do 1 to 3, get rid of hello. Maybe not because that also has a 1. Anything 2 to 3, there you go. Things like that. Like I wasn't quite sure the differences between regex and blobbing, so it was
Blobbing.
cool to see that that exists. Similarly, you can use whatever character classes like A to Z, 2 to 3, 0 to 9, all that.
Yeah.
And another thing I thought was cool was renaming files. I think we've talked about it
Renaming
before.
files. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not using the Perl expressions. You're using the Perl rename. You actually used it. The other one.
I use
Move
sed.
basically, right? Oh, Z. Okay.
Yeah, we can touch another and say like hello, goodbye, something like that. Like maybe we want to truncate everything that just says hello in it. Like
Mm-hmm.
starts with hello, so we could say, I guess I could say ls hello. No, that wouldn't work. I could do ls hello star. I did not do that. Okay, so this would work. So we could grab these and then throw into sed, or we could just straight pipe it into sed. Either way, let's just go with this one. And we can throw it in sed. I also thought it was interesting using pipes in sed. I always use slashes. But we can take this and take anything after the first hello and then say like goodbye and give it our /1 and see if this works here. Nope, I have an unmatched. Okay, I forgot slash. So like here we rewrote goodbye, goodbye 10, goodbye, goodbye. And even if I got rid of this, which
Mm-hmm.
would be less ideal, of course, but you can see that it only rewrote those files and not anything else. So what I ended up doing was this, except for I rewrote my command. So instead of just saying goodbye 1 or goodbye whatever's in that capture group, I said move hello /1 to goodbye /1. And that gives me a list of all of the move commands that I want to run.
Mm-hmm.
And I can
Mm-hmm.
just straight pipe that to bash. And now we have all our goodbyes.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I think that was the one with rename, right? Like I didn't have rename on my system, so I went with that. Yeah, I don't have rename.
Yeah. You can install a rename, but it doesn't. That's a different rename than the. Usually they have it on some Linux machine. So because I did install it on my system, but yeah, it wasn't the same rename.
Okay. Yeah. Morellis, I thought it was cool because I ran into the same situation where the same exact file or like piping things to bash was pretty helpful to just generate
Mm-hmm.
commands from sed, which feels weird to generate programs and then run them like this, but it works just as well.
Mm.
Another one I thought was interesting, like the expansion. So like we have something like this. There's no such directory star. Like it doesn't expand if I put it in quotes. I guess I could do that same one here. We don't have hello anymore, but we have goodbye. So goodbye star. But if I throw this in quotes, it no longer expands, which I found interesting.
Yeah, even after going through this book, the quotes thing is still like trippy. Like, I still get confused with double single quotes. Even right now, I think I need more time.
I believe the thing with that is it'll expand out variables if you do that. So
Yeah, like my right now, my motto is whenever in doubt, just throw in double quotes.
I could say, I guess I don't need that here, but we could say rust and then like hi, something like that. So then that one expands and this one does not.
Yeah.
But the globs
Double quotes.
themselves do not expand in here, even so, which is interesting. Yeah, a bunch of different rules to think about. It's not
Mm,
all that confusing now, but just interesting that there's so many different rules for different situations, especially if you're handing a command something like a star. It'll be handled different potentially. Like this is saying like the the command gets to handle what it thinks it should do with this.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but some other things I thought it was cool to know there's read-only variables in Bash. Never really thought about
Yeah.
that. And yeah, read-only local modifiers. I learned a bit more about what export meant, like sharing the
Mm,
variables through your child processes, which is pretty helpful. Like I know I've run into issues where I haven't exported variables in my Bash RC before.
okay. You said child processes, so like is the subshells that you're gonna fire from these shells? So is there a way to like move it upwards?
So be able to access a variable from a parent shell once you have a subshell.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I mean, let's
Yeah.
try at least. So now I'm in a subshell. If I export I equals hello like this, we exit the subshell and we print out I. It is not there. Maybe it's a dash F.
Mm,
Let's try again. So go into here, export dash F, hi equals hello. Not a function. There probably has to be something on that. There's no man page for it either. I feel like there's some way to do it. I'm just not quite sure now. Like you could definitely write something and modify it within. I'll look it up real quick. We'll find out.
mm.
Okay, the answer according to Stack Overflow is you can't do it.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, you can't do it. The way you would do it is if you spawned the shell, whatever you return with the, you could save that inside of a variable in the parent process. But yeah, it sounds like you can't.
Oh, well, that's good to know then.
But yeah,
Limits of export.
yeah, like if you need a child process, you can just handle it. I think that makes sense to me. Because otherwise, like, you could have something messing with your path just in a random program. I guess probably could do that, to be fair, but it would change things for upper programs as well, instead of just the process. Or the session, that is.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, another one, it was weird to me that everything's a variable. Or sorry, not
Everything
everything's
is
all
array.
variables are arrays. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very wacky to me. So like hello and not hello, it's hi. So hi and hi of 0 are the same thing. And then if we go out of
Yeah.
bounds, it prints nothing. I guess it prints a new line or a space, something like that. But yeah, that's weird to me that there's not much distinguishing them. And then on that note, like that there are, like you can declare different variable types if you'd like to, and if you don't do that, then adding numbers will act differently unless you put them in a specific context where they will be added as integers. So like if I do, I guess I'll just say I in here, I equals 1. And then I do I plus 1. Echo I plus 1, we get 1 plus 1. Versus if I instead do this, we get 2, which is weird to me. But we can also declare as an int. It feels weird to me either way. Because there's no true data type, it's based on the context, except for here, I think. Like if I declare I to be 10, nope. I have to say j equals 10, something like that. Now j, if I do j plus 10, 10 plus 10. I guess that doesn't change it too much, but I'd still have to do the parentheses to tell it it's an adding kind of thing. But if I say j is equal to this, and we look at j, it's now 0, which I haven't seen it done before like this, but it's kind of cool to see. But either way, I'm not quite sure if I'd use this or not. It'll always be an integer for sure, but if it's just 0 and I've had something arbitrary, then it's not of too much value.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that declare I there, it makes it an integer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Another fun one is something that I've done many a time, which is just source .bashrc, and then now I know it just runs a script in the current session. That's it.
Wait, what is it doing? I thought you were gonna say like do source some other like command or something, but okay, I didn't expect that.
This is
So
a command.
What exactly is it? Okay.
I'm running my bashrc script in the current session.
And it opens another like bash session.
Nope, it's in the same session. Otherwise, if I ran bash RC like this,
Yeah.
it would not
Yeah.
affect any of the variables or anything that I'd like to set in my bash RC.
Hmm.
That makes
Can you
sense?
do a PS? Okay. Now run, source bash RC and do a PS again. Okay, so it did not open anything new.
Yeah, it ran the script in this current session. Versus if I ran
Okay.
bash, then it would run it in a new child process, which then, as we've
Yeah.
established, we cannot affect the parents' variables
Yep.
and whatnot.
Yep. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise it's just interesting to see like there's env and there's set and a bunch of different extra stuff everywhere. But it's cool to see a bunch of things that I'd seen other places. Like I've seen a bunch of security places be like, oh no, we broke everything because we didn't set pipe fail. So it was cool to see all those options in set. I feel like that's about it for everything Yeah. Oh no, I'm skipping ahead. The set built in. We can't look at that. I'm cheating. No.
I thought
Okay.
maybe that was like extracurricular because I didn't like the most I looked forward was like loops and I did not do the loops exercises.
Yeah, I think I did more. Like I read to like page 80 or so, so I'm not quite sure where we're at. And I've also done some side reading that has gone more into depth in different parts. So close your ears. Whoever heard that, there's no such thing as set yet. You've never heard of it.
I thought that was part of like the maybe you're like maybe found something else to like that's what I was like my head was getting at. I did not think like it was like ahead of the you're like going ahead of the material.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Okay, good. I had my stream closed again, and nobody has talked in there, luckily, so didn't miss any of these questions. But yeah, that's about it
Your
for me. Like, do you have any more?
stream is still
Sorry, go ahead.
your stream is still up actually.
Oh no, I had my stream window closed, so I couldn't see the chat.
Oh,
Bad streamer, of course.
Okay. No, not really. I mean, that's it. Actually, Brian had a question, but I'm not sure because if you do which is a program, right? Because if you do which is you get a binary like a location. But he's on Mac with ZSH, and it says there like which is a built-in, so which was like different, like which was kind of interesting.
Which?
Yeah, which.
User
Yeah,
bin which.
so you're getting a binary. Yeah. Which is which? Which is which?
Which?
Which is which? But yeah, since they are not here, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they can ask the next time. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that being the case. I remember somewhere in there, like, which is not the end all be all for finding this stuff out. Like, of course, seeing it print nothing for some of these is.
Yeah.
Let's see, what if I do that? Yeah, if you print something that doesn't exist, it just doesn't care. So ultimately, there's a better way of going about this, which I think the book gets into.
What's the error code? What's the error code on this one? Like echo. Yeah.
1.
Do they? 1. Yeah.
And if I say which CD, we get 1 as well.
1. Yeah. So it means like it's. I mean, it's not successfully completing something. So it's, at least that's like being noted down somewhere.
Yeah, it marks it as unsuccessful, but I think there's another command which is more helpful because it shares more information about what something is.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it gets into it somewhere in here. I wouldn't be surprised. Like looking into set and export and everything in here. But yeah, you have no more questions, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, so then let's go over what we're gonna go through, which is we're gonna go through the loop section for next time, which is around
Mhm.
page 53, and we'll read the next 50-ish pages. So I would expect that maybe it's the end of history. Yeah, what does this end on? The finished page is 144, so 50 is good. But maybe just to keep it nice, because otherwise we have to read one chapter of this and the rest of Advanced Bash. Let's just read loops to up into exclusive, of course, part 4. That sound good?
From loops to basically up until what is this chapter called?
Yeah, to the end,
Uh,
to part 4 of
Bash and
Advanced
practice.
Bash. Yeah, we're gonna
Oh wait.
read including Bash and Practice, yes.
Oh yeah.
Which will be a
Bash and
bit
practice.
more reading, but it'll be a nice
So no
and
touching advanced bash, right?
yeah, no Advanced Bash, so that'll be our last one.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. I will end off our stream here.